Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, it's our pleasure to present to you the newest name in Delaware sports and sports around the world, who has had absolutely no success in the real world, so he's dedicated his life to talking sports. He's known to be prickly and very opinionated. It's time to get in the huddle with your host, Coach Muddle.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to a jam-packed Thursday night show as we have a ton of stuff. A lot happened after I got off the air Monday. And, so we have a lot to go over, a lot to talk about. And we also have big-time football tonight. A pretty big game. You got your Eagles playing tonight against the GOAT. So we'll go from there and see. But I think really we should really start off and go with what happened, what's been going on right now in all football. I mean, this is kind of crazy right now, I think.
And Coach, to me, what some guys have said too, Coach, that this is the tip of the iceberg. So that there might be more things to come down, which, you just wonder. Because, and look, if Bruce Allen, these guys, and look, it was stupid what they did. I don't condone it. Gruden was wrong. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of hypocritical people here. That's all, let's be honest. A lot of people in the NFL, head coaches or whatever, would be puckering up if all their emails and texts for the last 10 years got released.
Yeah.
I mean, so for all of them to act like they're sweethearts and angels and have never done anything wrong or said anything that they, wouldn't take back in their life, is questionable. And look, Gruden got caught up because of the whole Washington, the Redskins scandal.
Right.
Look,
Bruce Allen uses his personal email. We're not having this discussion. But because he used an NFL email, and honestly, my opinion, and please don't take this as me defending Gruden or anything, but I think it's a witch hunt by the NFL because there's over 600,000 emails. 600,000. That, and those are the emails they picked out?
Right.
What's up, Angela? How you doing, sweetie?
What's up, Angela? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, real curious to see. I don't know if Angela's done a show yet, but real curious to see what she has to say about it. But yeah, I mean,
I think it's terrible. As much as Gruden, I knock Gruden and everything. I think it's bad for the Raiders.
Right.
When you fire a coach mid-season, I don't care what sport it is or where it's at. I just think it's.
I just wonder who leaked the email too. Like, what's behind this?
Right.
Did Mark Davis want to, was he tired of Gruden and wanted to maybe get the, fire him for cause, obviously, so he could get out of that contract? Because I doubt there's more emails out there. I'm sure Bruce Allen has more emails to other people, Adam Schefter for one, that he got a little criticism because I guess he's, had him say, is this okay to report this? And had basically Bruce Allen proofread it before he reported it. And that was a little they said journalistically it was a little questionable, but no, and they said this is the tip of the iceberg, so real curious to see what comes out, if there's gonna be more, but like I said, it's
but here's the other thing, man,
and she's not talking about actually Gruden. It's they have little Chucky, the little kid, and it's a shame because he's kind of like a victim of all this, and I don't know what really happens there. It's it's tough, but I just would like I said, to know, Coach, who released the email, where did it all start, and look, obviously some of the language that was said is troubling and all, but the thing that was the worst to me is the whole cheerleaders and making them pose nude and sending them amongst each other. I mean, that's terrible.
Well, first off, I don't think the cheerleaders knew, because I believe was a lawsuit.
No, they weren't nude.
They were nude. They didn't know they were being photographed Is what I'm saying. I think there was some camera, something in the locker room, something fishy was going on there with that. So I don't think that was that.
Well, that's even worse then, Coach.
Right. Absolutely. But the company that the NFL hired came out and said, we sent the NFL over 650,000 emails. Mm-hmm. Why are they not releasing all of the emails, just the ones they're cherry picking?
Right. And
so it's not that outside company.
Right.
It's not like, that outside company, I'm a Raiders fan and I don't like John Gruden or I'm mad at John Gruden. I'm picking. I think it was someone in the NFL office that cherry picked this and wanted to do this.
Because I'm sure there's other emails that are questionable. There's got to be.
Come on, there's 600,000, and plus, I don't know what email I sent last week, and you're going to go back 10 years ago. I mean, I'm lucky I remember what day it is, and you're going to, how far are we going back? That's my question.
And you might. I'm not trying to look. What Gruden did was wrong. And I'm not. We even saw Carr yesterday. He says he's upset, but he also said he loved the guy. I don't think John Gruden's a racist. I don't think he is. I think obviously he said some stupid things, but like I said, if you went in the NFL and went back and said to everybody in the NFL, and Derek Carr said this to open up everything, and you took every coach's emails, every GM's emails, and text all the players. Trust me, there would be a lot of people losing their jobs in the NFL. Guaranteed. But,
and I don't take that as, and I agree with you. I don't think Gruden's a racist, but I chalk it up to locker room talk. I mean, there's stuff in a locker room that you get away with regardless, that outside of that locker room, it is deemed bad, racist or whatever, but it's that locker room and that camaraderie where you're okay. I don't want to say okay, but it is kind of okay to do that stuff. And I think that's where, but you get in trouble when they pull the curtain back.
Right.
And now, the world is looking in and you're offended. You're going to offend some people.
You look at Carl Nassib. That's he obviously was critical of the, honestly, and I'm not trying to, I do believe that the NFL did want Michael Sam to get drafted because they didn't want people think that he didn't get drafted because he was gay. And I really I don't think they wanted that bad PR. Whether it would just be, he should have been, whether you get drafted should be on merits. If you're gay, it should have nothing to do with it. It's either you're a good football player or you're not. And obviously he said the word he said, and it's bad. But now he's got Nassib on his team. You know what I mean? So, if he had an issue with that, and obviously he shouldn't use that word, but, and I'm sure he would have addressed that with Nassib himself. But, to me, if he was homophobic, he wouldn't allow him on his team.
Right.
I mean, he's got complete control over that whole team, and I think he was just conveying, and he shouldn't have used that word, but I think he was frustrated that they felt, Jeff Fisher got forced to draft Michael Sam because they didn't want the PR of a gay guy. And if you look, he really kind of basically got drafted and then got released. He never really played in the NFL.
He didn't. Right. They made that big deal about it. They showed him kissing his boyfriend or whatever you call it after he got drafted. Like they made it was a big show. It was that's all it was. And you're right, because I don't even think he made it out of training camp.
Right. And look, for Carl Nassib, he was already in the NFL. And I was happy for him. Basically, he said, I'm gay, and then nothing else. He didn't really talk to you as a training camp. I don't think it was a big deal. And it's good that it's in those times nowadays. I don't think anybody cares about what you do in your most people. Yeah, there's some people that don't think like that.
And look, honestly, there's been gay guys in the NFL since the NFL started. We're just now finding, it's
a
just
different
now
time
the way,
now.
different time, you know, so it is what it is,
Yeah, no, I mean, and I'm like I said, I'm not by any means defending Gruden, but it's the whole thing's odd to me. I really want to see what happened, how these emails, as you used, got cherry picked out. is this the tip of the iceberg? Are there other GMs, coaches, or whatnot that, are going to come out too? It all just seems, very odd to me. And we'll see what happens. But now, the Raiders, obviously, you start 3-1. Obviously, you have the huge shadow over your shoulders over the weekend. And, you lose a game, you're 3-2, and now you lose your coach. And, no matter what, it's going to affect the offense. It's going to affect the team. And most of all, it's going to affect Derek Carr. Because now –
right. And go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish.
No. And you got a new – a guy a new play caller. I don't know if the system's going to be the same. And, I do feel bad for him because I thought Derek Carr was kind of putting it together this year.
Absolutely.
And Angela, I agree. There is no consistency with the punishments. And, it's just weird. I almost wonder, couldn't you have, I'm not going to say push it off. I just don't understand how this got released, the timing. You couldn't wait to the end of the year. It's just.
Right. You couldn't wait to the offseason. You had to do it in the middle of the season.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And it all. And look, too, there's a lot of things about the Washington football team that are going to be explosive to come out. Why isn't any of that out, Coach?
And we talked about this. Yeah. And what we talked about this off air in our pre-show is, all of a sudden now the Redskins are going to retire Sean Taylor's number again. Right now, they didn't say, "Oh, we're doing it this year." They came out yesterday and said, "We're doing it this Sunday," to try to, put shade on their. Yeah. It's all PR, and I think that's disrespectful to Sean Taylor. I mean, come on,
it is.
It's ridiculous. Just buck up and deal with it. I think.
I didn't know that, Angela. I didn't know that was on the anniversary of Al Davis's death. Wow. I got to wonder too, Angela. And I said to Coach, I got to wonder if Urban Meyer was the one who released the meme because, man, is he the happiest guy in NFL right now? Because nobody's talking about Urban Meyer anymore.
He got on the podium and just went, "Hey, have you heard about the Raiders?"
Not to, isn't it amazing though, too, Coach, with news cycles, how all the heat's on you and then one thing can happen and it's like, well, that was yesterday's news. Now it's John Gruden and everything that's going on. And, look, a guy like Keyshawn, too, you mentioned taking his shots. He's right about saying he's right where he said, but, say it before, though. Say it before.
Right. Come out and say it before.
He said he won with Tony Dungy's players, and he's right. He did. But he still won. Tony Dungy couldn't get him a Super Bowl. Gruden, basically left the defense as it was. And got Brad Johnson to play good enough football and them to actually win in under 40-degree weather. So, don't take it from him. I thought that was a cheap
right, because if you remember, Keyshawn was really kind of the TO of the time. Bouncing. He went from with the Jets to Dallas to Tampa. I think Carolina too. He bounced around a little bit because he couldn't. He had some issues. And if I remember correctly, I don't think he was even on the playoff roster.
Right.
Because he got suspended, detrimental to the team stuff. But,
Oh, I'm sure there's certain people being protected.
Absolutely.
Look at
Anthony.
What about Robert Kraft? There's an example for you. No matter what he did, he's an owner of a team. It's illegal. That I don't know. Did he get suspended or fined? I don't remember.
But I don't think anything happened to it because it just.
Yeah, but I mean, no, that's a big deal to me. But like I said, I really think this is the beginning parts. I'm curious to see what else is going to come out because I don't know that the NFL. I don't know. I don't know if they would want – because now that one's out, to me, like Derek Carr, and he's right, it all should come out. All the emails should come out. And I can't believe the NFL would want that. Just for so many different reasons in regards to, things being said that are wrong, things in regards to injuries, head injuries, and all that thing with the NFL. Because the NFL, they were shady about that for years, and tried to deny that, and tried to not to pay those retired players, for years that they've been screwed over. Guys who the reason these guys make millions and millions of dollars now, and didn't give them the insurance and things they need, for getting hurt when they played when they were in their younger years, obviously.
Now, I learned this.
Andrew, you're right. 100%. There would be no league. You're right.
Listen, and I learned this, speaking of the commissioner, Roger Goodell, when he was negotiating his contract, renegotiating, making, by the way, $40 million a year, 40. He wanted health care for his family for life and the use of a private jet for life.
Wow.
And I don't think he got those two things, but he got health care for himself. Well, I don't know that his family, but you talk about, the league, because I don't really think
too, with a P word. So
yes,
you wonder
but the other part of that is, not wanting health care, but yet he wants health care for himself personally.
Right.
And look, if it's about player safety, we wouldn't have a Thursday night game. Okay. Let's be honest, because we
wouldn't have a 17th game either.
Right. Absolutely.
It's about money.
It's all about money, and that's what it is,
100%. And that's why too, like you say about the quarterback thing, that's all. It's not, they don't want their $30 million, $40 million a year players getting hurt. That's why they're protecting the quarterback. It's all about money. That's what, they don't, like I said, the NFL's, they're a bunch of hypocrites in my mind. They really are. But like I said, I'm real curious to see how this plays out.
But what surprised me, and Angela, you might have some insight on this, is that the special teams coordinator was named the interim head coach when you have so many. Yeah,
Tom Cable, Marinelli, and Gus Bradley, obviously.
Right. You have all these guys on the staff that were former head coaches, and which surprised me. So we'll see. And I know, and I think David Carr is going to suffer. I mean, their offense sputtered a little bit. Dave started with a D. I'm close enough, right?
Well,
but they'll get there.
Who's going to be the offensive coordinator now, too? Because I'll look that up quick. Because I'm real curious about that too. Because it's like I said, it's a shame because it really does. There was some excitement in Vegas, and look, maybe this can rally the team around. You never know. You really don't. But I like I said, Gruden, that whole team's are built around him and his offense. So I really think it's going to be tough for them, and especially for Derek Carr going forward.
Right. So, we'll see how that all plays out, in the coming weeks, obviously. And obviously, Sunday the Raiders will be, front and center. So
yeah.
I want to. Do you mind? Can we switch gears a little bit here?
Real quick, Coach. Just so you know, Greg Olson, he was the offensive coordinator. He will be calling the plays. He was the coordinator. I mean, obviously Gruden called the plays, but he's going to be the one who calls the plays.
And David Shula was the offensive coordinator for the Giants under Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur was calling the plays, though. So, and there's a few guys still in the league that do that, but
it's what was he saying? I don't think, but it's crazy. He did make a statement or a report.
Right. Are you sure, Angela, that it was Olsen in his ear? I don't know about that.
I think she might be right. I think he might have really
what was Gruden?
A lot of those people
play Olsen
relays it to him, and then he relays it into Carr. I think she might be right about that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But like I said, you'll kind of see you'll find out, I think, Sunday what's going to happen with this team. I know, Angela, I'm not a big fan of Mark Davis either. But you're going to find out this weekend what's going to happen with this team. They're either going to come out Sunday together and try to win a game that I think they need to win against the Broncos, or it's gonna it's gonna be a tough year. The real staple of the NFL. We're gonna move on to tonight's games.
I want to get into a little baseball because if we forget about baseball,
we will. We're not.
You always say the end, but once we get going with football,
we got the Eagles
it never goes. All right, fine. But wait, real quick. Okay, hold on. Can I just make a quick plug to Tommy and Donnie down at the Lewis Fish House for dropping off all the fish? I really appreciate it. You guys help me out because Nevada Nick doesn't. He doesn't want to come down to the beach anymore. So I got all this tuna, mahi.
I'll come down to mahi. Look, Eagles. Obviously, two banged up teams tonight on a Thursday night game. Another reason, like you said, it's not about NFL safety. I still don't think the whole Lane Johnson situation is very curious to me, Coach. I don't think he's playing tonight.
No, they said he's not. He's got a personal matter in Oklahoma he's dealing with.
Right, and it's just, I've heard of personal matters, Coach, where you're out for a week, but this is going to be the third straight game, so it's very odd to me. But look, you'd think tonight, with the points, I'll say this. By the hook, I like the Eagles with the 7.5. I think it's going to be a close game. Tampa's got a lot of injuries, too. Levante David is out tonight. I think they're missing two of their top three corners on defense. That Tampa defense has really been struggling, Coach.
Yeah.
So I think the Eagles will be able to score some points and keep it close. Obviously, I think Tampa's going to win, but I see like a 31-27 type game. I think the Eagles cover Tampa Bay wins the game.
I think Tampa wins, and I think it won't be close just because Sirianni can't run the football. You can't run the football, and he
hasn't tried to run the football.
Right, exactly. So unless you're going to take time off the clock by running the football, is the only way you're going to keep this game close tonight.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Well, and that's the thing too. Like with that Eagles defense, and look, I think it's been impressive so far this year, except for the Dallas game, and even in that game, it was impressive. The problem was that the time of possession and the turnovers that kind of went against them. They scored a touchdown. I mean, really going into the fourth quarter, it was really, basically it was 20-7. And that was just the defense. The defense had scored 7 points and they had gave up 20. So if your offense could have scored 10 points, it's a 3-point game there in Dallas. But our offense didn't score a freaking point. So the defense has been good. But I think a game today, Brady and what he's good at. Brady gets the ball out of his hands. He doesn't hold the ball long. He doesn't take bad sacks. He takes what you give him, and he moves on to the next play if there's nothing there. And I just think he's going to, chew up this secondary with his forte of weapons he has on the outside. I know no Gronk, and that has affected Tampa Bay in the red zone because he really loves Gronk down there in the red zone. So that has affected them a little bit. But, man, with AB and Godwin and Evans, I think Brady's going to have a field day.
And who's playing tight end for them?
For who? For the Bucs?
For Tampa, yeah, for the Bucs. Because I thought Cameron
Brate Howard. And Stiz, you're right about that. But with the Eagles, they don't run the ball, so I don't think it matters. And I highly doubt if he's not running before, he ain't going to run tonight. But Stiz is right about that. That no doubt 100% the best run defense in football, Tampa Bay.
Isn't it Brate? It's not
great. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But
and OJ Howard, who I thought we would see a little more of this year.
Yeah, so did I, because he was hurt last year and they talked about him, but I don't know, because he was a first round pick.
Yeah.
He went before Evan Ingram in the draft that year. So
yeah. Who we haven't seen a lot of this year too? Stiz, and I don't know if he's hurt, but Scotty Miller. And I know, obviously we've had the emergence of AB a little bit more here Yeah, he is hurt, it looks like. Okay, that's what it is. So Scotty Miller's hurt. I was wondering because you haven't seen much of Scotty Miller with the Bucs, and it looks like he is hurt. So, yeah, but like I said, I like Tampa tonight. I think it's a close game. Hopefully the Eagles actually show up in the game. The Coach Muffle dictionary. Yeah,
that's right. That's right, man. Coach has got his own dictionary.
Who do you got tonight, Coach?
I got Tampa tonight. I think Tampa wins. I think they cover. So I think it'll be because I think Nick Sirianni can't establish a running game and just won't. Just refuses. And I think that plays in the hand of both Tom Brady and the Tampa defense is still going to be able to get some pressure on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I don't understand. Usually when you got a young quarterback like that.
Thanks, Stiz. I like that.
Yeah. You want to simplify it for him. And that's by running the ball, short throws, easy plays, making him feel comfortable. And he's got Jalen Hurts running around for his life and throwing the ball all over the field. Really doesn't make any sense to me. But, like I said, I really think we could be looking at a one and done with Sirianni this year. I don't think he's been very impressive. I think last week the team won in spite of their head coach. I really do. Mm-hmm. I really would like to know what Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are thinking above too, and including with Jalen Hurts because you've seen flashes of good play, but you've seen flashes of some very bad play. I understand he's a young quarterback and inconsistencies.
Yeah, but look at what they're making him do, though.
You're right. You're right. And putting him in a position to succeed is part of it, Coach. But he's also been very inaccurate. And in football, accuracy is a big thing. And I do question that when it comes to Jalen Hurts. Look, maybe this is something that's fixable. Josh Allen, look at how much he's turned his game around. And accuracy was an issue with him. It's just, we've said, Coach, I think Jalen Hurts is going to have one of the shortest leashes in the history of football because of the reason of the Eagles could have 3 top 10 picks this year. And if they don't feel like he's the guy, they're going to make a move right away and try to bring the guy in.
Who are you going to take?
You're not going to trade somebody. You're going to make a trade for Deshaun Watson or whomever's out there. Russell Wilson. I think that's what they'll do.
Okay.
Because you see too now, the kid Rattler, who was the number one, he got benched this week, and the guy came in and looked real well. Yeah. So,
well, the kid from Liberty is supposed to be pretty good, and I haven't seen Liberty play yet, but that's another name that's coming up, and there's another kid too, and obviously I haven't seen him play either from somewhere else. But as the season goes on, I'll make sure I check out some film on those two guys. But really, I don't think so. I don't think so because I think the Giants are going to be in the market as well. For a quarterback. So.
Yeah, no, and look, that's another team, Coach, with just so many injuries. Andrew Thomas, Galladay, Sterling Shepard.
Shepard might play this week.
Slayton?
Galladay will not.
Slayton?
Slayton's still out.
Saquon's
going to be out probably.
Yeah, Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas is going to play. He's I read today that he did practice limitedly, but it looks
Danny
like
Dimes,
he's going to play.
Is he playing?
He's going through the protocol, but he's on pace to play, they said. So, barring any setbacks, he's on pace to play. But to be honest with you, and I know we talked about this off the air, you turn on a lot of these giant programs and you hear how, Danny Dimes, top 10 quarterback. I don't see it, and I think that is just building value to trade him. I really do. I think that's just trying to build some value that's not there.
The one program I saw, he said because he's top 10 in passing yards. That doesn't mean anything.
No.
Jameis Winston led the league in passing the 1 year.
Right.
Because they're always playing from behind. Danny Dimes, and that's the problem with him. He's incredibly inconsistent. He can have some real highs where you say, man, this guy looks good.
Right.
And then he just has these incredible lows. And that the one thing you want from your quarterback is the opposite. You want consistency. That's the one position. We all know every quarterback's going to have a bad game here or there. It just happens, whether it's pressure or you're just off. But at the quarterback position, you want consistency. That's where you want the Tom Brady's of the world, who are just, I hate to say it, but, cliche guys that just come in, get the job done. And, you don't want inconsistency at the most important position on your team.
Right. Absolutely. So,
And Giants this week, Rams, another tough.
Another tough. I mean, I think the next 5 is like, the Chiefs are in there. They got a brutal schedule coming up. I don't see really where the Giants might wind up stealing one again. But we'll see. I'm not very confident. But again, and the Bears had to go and win this week. Because the Giants have 2 first-round picks this year,
right.
Could possibly be. But honestly, just to backtrack a little bit, I don't think the Eagles are getting a first-round pick from the Colts. I just don't see. I think Wentz doesn't make it.
Well, the thing is, though, Coach, I understand they're 1-4, but they play the Titans in a couple weeks. As long as they're in it, they're going to keep playing them. That's going to be the thing. But I don't think he's good. I think he's going to get hurt. And you got to realize that the next couple of weeks they play the Texans, the Jaguars, the Titans. They could get right back in it in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, but I do agree with you. If they're at a point late and the season's over, there is no way they're going to give up a top 10 pick to the Eagles. They will sit Wentz, and Wentz is going to understand. And they're going to say, look, we're not going to give the Eagles a first-round pick of this caliber. We got to bench it. And it's, and I almost wonder because that would be unprecedented. You know what I mean? For the NFL. I don't know that that's happened before.
Yeah, but you know what it'll be? They're going to go, listen, Wentz, on this play, go out there.
I'm saying NFL-wise,
Yeah, but they're going to make it be like an injury. We're going to put you on IR to make it look good. Right. They do that all the time. They put guys on IR that aren't really hurt or anything. So I could see them Wentz getting it dinged up that probably could have just sat him for a game and they'll wind up IRing them just so they don't have to put pay the pick.
And I think so. Stiz, I think he gave a prop bet out. Take the under on Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
And he's probably right. Although last week I took the over on Miles Sanders. I said he was due, and I got it by a half a yard. So, and he almost killed me too. So he got a 19-yard run late, Coach, to go over. And then Sirianni runs him backwards, and he loses 3 yards. And I got it by a half a yard still. That was Paul Sirianni. As we were down in AC, I bet the Eagles too. So,
you guys didn't congratulate me. I did get off the snide. Okay,
finally,
I did finally get off the snide. Okay, I mean, come on now, but.
All proud of himself. So he's 1-4 now. Good job, Coach. Picking 20%.
Hey, I'm just like the Giants, baby. I'm like the Giants. Worst team in the NFL now, Cleveland East.
Yep.
Welcome
Coach
to Cleveland
over
East.
here.
Yep.
All right. So you want to get into your baseball now, Coach?
I just wanted to make sure, it's a game 5. It's pretty big. It's probably, honestly, I think this is going to be the best game of playoff baseball.
I agree.
Because you have the 2 best teams playing. Mm-hmm. And they shouldn't be playing. Right. This should be a 7-game series to go to the World Series.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's a game 5, and it's horrible by MLB. Terrible. So, but I'll probably watch this more than I watch the Eagles.
Coach, you're right. It should reset. Because, see, the reason the Dodgers were the wild card was because they're in the same division. But you're talking about a 107-win team and a 106-win team. Yeah. They should have reset, and it should have been Dodgers.
Just like hockey does.
Dodgers played the Brewers and Giants played the Braves. And then if they, obviously the Dodgers and the Giants win, they play in the NLCS. But that's baseball. They're screwed up. And, it's a shame because the Giants had a hell of a year. And, we'll see what happens tonight. It's going to be a hell of a game. I'm rooting for the Giants. I like the underdog story. I think the Dodgers just keep on buying to more talent. And I'm not a big fan of Dave Roberts, so I'm hoping because Giants, I do have to win it all. I do have them, and I took a flyer out on the Braves too. So I'm hoping, obviously, the Giants win tonight. But it's going to be a good game. the big thing's going to be come down to pitching. Webb last time he threw a shutout against the Dodgers in Game 1. Can he do it again tonight? They pitched Buehler on short rest last game. You got Urias tonight, a 20-game winner, in San Francisco. But who do you like tonight, Coach?
I like San Fran as well. I think San Fran will pull it out and win it. Again, it's the Dodgers, and that's it. So I'm going with San Fran.
Yeah, I'm going with San Fran too, Stiz, and I've said that. I think everybody's underestimating the Giants. They've done it all year. All year they've been told they were going to be in third place behind the Dodgers and Padres, that eventually they would get caught. And then even it was when the Padres kind of started going on a tailspin, it was, eventually the Dodgers, were going to pass them. And look, they had to play great baseball down the stretch to get that. The Dodgers were on fire in September.
And remind me, didn't this guy used to manage the Phillies? Didn't they run him out of Philadelphia?
Yeah, they did. We're known for that, Coach. Terry Francona left and then won a freaking World Series where nobody could in Boston. Look, Philly has no patience. He did do some questionable things in Philly. But look, Joe Girardi, who a lot of people think is a good manager, hasn't been able to get him over the hump either. Although with that bullpen, I don't think many people could. But obviously, look, this is a team that was 100-1 to win the World Series, and they're a game away now from the NLCS. And obviously Kapler is unanimous manager of the year, right. And he's done a great job. He's got a bunch of guys having career years. So he's doing something right.
Well, and of course, you open up the dictionary, the definition of insanity is the New York Yankees. Because why have we not fired Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman yet? What are we doing? And what did you just throw us a bone by firing the first and third base coaches and the hitting coach?
Yeah.
Well, what is that going to do?
And Coach, what's crazy is you see this payroll, but there's a lot of holes on the Yankees.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And
you're going to have to pay Judge.
You're going to
have to back the Brinks truck up for Judge.
But Judge and Stanton are like the same player. Yeah. You know what I mean? You need multiple starting pitchers. You need more bats.
I don't agree with the pitching part because
Coach,
wait a second.
After Cole, and let's say you get Severino, but what do they have after that?
Herman.
Okay. Is he going to be healthy?
And Herman, I thought pitched pretty well. Herman, talent's really come around. We got there, and Montgomery. That's a solid 5 rotation there.
I don't know.
But wait a second. Look, Cole's the biggest inconsistency. Okay. But moving on, you've got to address the offense, because you can't expect those guys to go out and pitch a no-hit baseball every night, because it's not going to happen. Yeah. So that 5 is good enough to you start fixing those holes.
And Coach, you got Toronto, who's coming and young. You got to Tampa, who's there every year, right? And just keeps recycling it. We all thought Tampa would take a step back this year, losing Snell and Charlie Morton, and lose Glasnow too to injury, and they didn't. And then you got the Red Sox, who are in the ALCS right now. Right. So the Yankees need to make moves. And
here's the thing that gets me is, we talk about this stupid analytics. But I want to know what analytic had you bunting your catcher over to second base, and then he comes around and scores the winning run last night.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't analytics. That was a manager making a decision without looking at some spreadsheet.
Right.
And the problem is the Yankees are so trying to do what Tampa does. It's an embarrassment. It really is.
Yeah, well, they need, like I said, they need a lot. A lot of change. They're station to station. They're not very good defensively. Yep. They need bats, people that are going to get on base. They need speed.
And listen, I'm not trying to be a homer, but I'm being a homer. The Vasquez kid, when he was in playing shortstop, the Yankees went on a 13-game winning streak because the kid was hitting the ball and stealing some bases and playing baseball, you know, and they weren't so station to station.
Right. Well, and they need some bounce back years too. I mean, if LeMahieu can get back to more like he was in 2020 than in 2021, I don't know what's going to happen with Luke Voit. That's a big question.
I think they move on from Voit.
What do you do with Gallo though? He was terrible.
Well,
Gallo was at 150.
I know Gallo. And did you see Pete Rose? Did you see what he said about him?
No.
Oh, Pete Rose goes, if I struck out 200 times in a season, for a guy that doesn't play every day, to strike out over 200 times, I personally go shoot myself. I mean, I don't know. But I mean, look, Pete Rose, man, I love the guy. Because I bet you Pete Rose could go out there right now.
It was odd
strike out 200 times.
Because, not many guys are around the Rangers, and then he goes where you got Judge and Stanton around you, and he digressed. You know what I mean? I thought – and with that short porch in right field too, I thought Gallo. Look,
he started off pretty hot.
He's not going to hit for average. You know that with Gallo,
right?
But you thought he'd get some home runs and RBI production, and he didn't.
Yeah, and actually the problem is you need a left-handed bat, so you're going to keep him. And I think the problem is
in the middle of your lineup, he's not my cleanup hitter like he's been.
No, he's not. But what I am going to do is I think Stanton played a lot better when he played every day. He hit the ball a lot better being the everyday left fielder. And I think you move Judge to center and you put Gallo in right and you move on with your day and see how that goes. I mean, because you need a left-handed bat. I'm sorry, because I don't think Rizzo is coming back. I think he goes back to Chicago or something, but it is what happened. You just went dark.
Sorry. Just to let everybody know too, Dodgers are not starting Urias tonight.
Who they start?
They're starting a reliever. They're going to go with a bullpen game
for Game 5. Really?
Yeah, winner take all. A little bit of a surprise there.
Wow.
Sorry I went on the ESPN. Am I still dark here or am I good?
A little bit. You're kind of dark. You need to turn the light on or something.
God, I didn't know it was going to get I'm sorry about that, Coach.
Hey, guess what? The times are changing. Time is changing. It gets dark early now there. You know. I know you're used to being in the dark room playing cards until, for 2 or 3 days. I know they're used to that, but,
Right.
So.
And Dave Roberts says why we did it. I think it's more appreciating in one game what gives us the best chance to win. Okay. Right. I would start my 20-game winner, but we'll see. This is going to be big tomorrow, win or lose. Dave Roberts, if they lose, there's going to be a lot of question marks around it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, yeah, exciting. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I like the Giants. We'll see. I mean, sometimes those reliever games, it can work out because you got these guys that come in and throw hard for a couple innings, and it's hard to, as in a starter, when you get them to see that second or third time, Coach, you kind of now know they're against you. You don't get that with a reliever. So, maybe it ends up working out for them. But both teams are going to throw the kitchen sink tonight. It's Game 5. So looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm hoping the Giants win. Just would like to see something different. And hopefully, I hate to say it, I bet against the Eagles. So, hey, I bet the win. I don't care. I mean, but, I just want the Eagles to have a good showing. I don't want to see what I had to watch with Stiz last week when I was ready to jump through the screen and choke Nick Sirianni just because he was.
I know, especially in AC and that football field screen they got up. Watching the game, it's like you're practically there.
Yeah.
So depending on which sports book you're in, but anyway, good stuff. So I think we'll be back live regularly Sunday morning. You guys okay with that? We okay?
Yeah. Sunday morning we'll be there. Yeah, I'm in the nightclub. Kev.
Yeah.
Nightclub, you know what I mean?
Man, yeah, man. All he needs is the disco ball going, spinning in
Hey,
the
well, guys,
background.
I'm be honest. Bad weekend last weekend. My electric shut off. You're lucky I got a computer.
Oh man! All right, good stuff, everyone. Listen, enjoy the games tonight. Both football, baseball. We'll be back Sunday morning, bright and early, bushy-tailed. Our regular scheduled program. We'll be back, and we'll be ready to go. And of course, Stiz will be there, ready to go. That's right. Get ready, Stiz, because I'm going on a roll right now. I'm going on a roll.
Oh, Kev! Wow, Kev, with the Eagles win, we'll see, Kev. It's going to be. I agree with you. I think it's going to be closer than people think.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Thanks, everyone. Thanks. Make sure you like the page. Go over to YouTube. Ring the bell. Subscribe. Share it with your friends. We appreciate all the help you give us. And we'll see everybody Sunday. Thanks for checking us out.